Welcome to Spotlight, and we're going to be going over how candlestick signals can give you a sense of when the market is changing direction within one, two, or three sessions. And that's a major advantage of candlesticks is that Western signals, that is, technical signals used in the West, like moving averages and so forth, take a long time to construct. And we strongly suggest still using them, but by adding the candlesticks, you're going to get earlier turning signals than you could with Western technicals. But before we begin, let me do our uh, risk disclosure. And just to remind you that there is risk of loss in trading pretty much anything. And for those who want to read the whole risk disclosure, you could go to this link here or put this on pause and just have and read the whole thing, assuming you don't have a life. And here we're going to look at the evening star. It's a three candlestick signal. The market needs to be in an uptrend. We have a long green candle, or depending on your charting system, it might be white. Essentially, the opening is down here and the close is there. The next session is a small real body. It could be green or red, meaning that the close under the opening, or even a doji with the opening and closing are the same. Ideally, it shouldn't touch the first real body. The real body should not be touching. It's okay if it overlaps a little bit. And the third candle is a red real body. That means the opening is here and the closing is here. That gets more than halfway into the green real body. So let's think about what's going on here. The market's in an uptrend. The bulls are in charge. How do we know that? A long green candle. The next day, the market's still moving up, but the real body is smaller. And although in this case it's a new high close for the move, the real body is showing there's more of an equilibrium between the bulls and the bears, and nothing to really get concerned about. But in the third session, we could see visually the bears have taken over. So within three candlestick lines, the trend has gone from up to down. Now let's look at an example of this. We'll look at Tesla, and I'll go through this arrow in a minute. But here, it's a very strong rally. Here we have a long green candle. The opening's here, and the closing is here. Now, although this is a daily chart, remember, everything I'm talking about could be used in any market, in any time frame. It could be an intraday chart. It could be a weekly chart. Many of us here, in fact, we use candlesticks in addition to Western technicals for our own retirement accounts and so forth. So although I'm focusing on a daily chart, keep in mind it could be used in indexes, Forex, options, whatever. So here we have a long green candle. The market's here, opens here, closes here. Obviously, the bulls are in charge. Next session, the market moves up. Now, this one's interesting. This is a small real body, okay, almost a doji with the opening and closing are the same. So that in itself is telling us the market is at a neutral point. But look at these shadows. The long upper shadow means that sometime during the session, the market had rallied, but the end of the session had closed lower. But at some time during the session, it sold off and then rallied. So it moves up, it moves down, it moves down, it moves up. It doesn't know what it wants to do. The Japanese call this a high wave candle, like big waves of an ocean. And this tells us that the market is confused. Now, it's not bearish, but it's the first clue that maybe the market is hesitating because it's confused. It wasn't confused here, right? Bulls were in charge. The next session forms the evening star. Okay, you had three candlesticks. And so this could have been a place here or, especially over here. Maybe if you were long from all the way down here to think about moving up stops or maybe take some profits. The main thing is, however, considering the rally, you could view this as a temporary hesitation, maybe as a potential resistance area. But this was the first sign, especially here with this high wave candle, of the market losing momentum. The arrow here shows a gap. This in Japan is called a rising window. And gaps or rising windows become support area. So you had the evening star, but our first expected support area potentially is down here right around 650, and it looks like so far it has held.